Welcome back into Foxborough Rush Art. So everything between Drake Maye and Jayden Daniels, those two guys' careers will follow one another as long as they're relevant in the league, as long as they're good in the league, as long as they are in the league. And even if one falls out, there will still be the comps. Jayden Daniels went number 2 overall to the Commanders, took them to the NFC Championship game. Drake Maye went number 3 to the Patriots, sat the first 5 weeks of the season, was behind the worst offensive line with the worst wide receiving room in the NFL. First-time play caller, didn't have success, but we'll see in year 2. But with all the attention around these joint practices, and we just talked all the football, there are the storylines. And this was one where we got to see Jayden Daniels against Drake Maye. And right now, if you were to say Jayden Daniels or Drake Maye, who you're taking, you would have to say Jayden Daniels because he had real tangible success. He went to an NFC Championship game. He was stellar from the jump with that offense, more athletically gifted. You can debate the downfield arm and all of that. But now moving forward, it's like, okay, let's see, year 2. And maybe Jayden Daniels is still ahead. Year 4, year 5, we'll see who's there. But the conversations are still bubbling up, and I can't blame them. Two similar skill sets. Jayden Daniels is more athletic, but two guys that are very different in their games as well, Annabelle. So that's what makes this type of conversation fun between a Jayden Daniels and a Drake Maye.
Yeah, it is a fun conversation. And like you said, they're going to be intertwined for the rest of their careers. And we just heard Drake Maye even talk about it. He's like, great guy. He mentioned literally every other quarterback in his draft class. But he said, when we're off the field, we're not friends, right? Like they can be friends now, but when they're off the field, no. And he was very complimentary towards Jayden Daniels. But you're right. Like you look at the year that Jayden Daniels had, and I feel like it's almost incomparable, right? If we were comparing Drake Maye to the other quarterbacks in that draft class that didn't make the playoffs, like, yeah, maybe because they all went through different situations. But comparing Drake Maye to Jayden Daniels based off of last year, like Jayden Daniels was in the MVP conversation. He was rookie of the year. He was week 1 starter. There's just so many different factors of why he was able to have the success that he had. But I think, like you said, this year 2 is going to be very interesting and to see where they both fall.
Yeah, and that's where, let's start with it. I mean, who do you think has more pressure to succeed this year? Drake Maye, year 1 with Josh McDaniels, year 1 with a better receiving room, year 1 with Mike Vrabel, or is it Jayden Daniels, year 2 with Cliff Kingsbury, Mike Quinn, coming off David Quinn? No, Mike. Yeah, whatever. One of the Quinns. David Quinn's in the NHL. But coming off an NFC Championship game appearance, Dan Quinn. Thank you to my producer, Brendan. Too many Mikes and Quinns in my life. But year 2 coming off the NFC Championship.
And McDonald's. There's a lot, so don't worry.
So many damn names, especially with these massive rosters in training camp. But it's a good problem. It's a lot of football. But Annabelle, who do you see facing more pressure in year 2 of them being a starting quarterback? Jayden Daniels or Drake Maye?
Yeah, I think they both have a lot of pressure to succeed, but these expectations are wildly different. And that's why I got to go with Jayden Daniels. You're a Super Bowl contending team. You literally were 1 game away last season. And so I think this is a team that believes that they can beat Philly and win a Super Bowl. So the pressure's got to be on Jayden Daniels. In the tough part of this whole situation, too, is that he might not have his go-to guy in Terry McLaurin. Like, think about how much that changes. It'd be like Patrick Mahomes not having Kelsey all of a sudden, right? Like when you have your go-to guy who probably was the reason for a lot of his success last year, all of a sudden not be in the picture and there be drama surrounding it. It's not like it's been this very clear cut, oh, he went down and we're already like, move on. Who's next up? Like it's kind of been this like slow death in a way, right? And so I think that's got to have an impact on this, but I got to go 100% Jayden Daniels.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you can't be a game away from the Super Bowl and have less pressure than Drake Maye. Now, the expectations for Drake Maye, because of their schedule, he has Josh McDaniels now, but we'll see how the season goes on, is to take his sophomore leap. The expectations for Jayden Daniels is to take a leap going from a guy that's looked like he could be top 10 quarterback in the league to possibly top 5. And it's also kind of the same trajectory as the Houston Texans. You saw CJ Stroud have an amazing rookie season, get to a playoff berth. They took a step back. The expectations will be high for the Commanders. And you bringing up that wrinkle of Terry McLaurin, by the way, something we didn't talk about, he wasn't there today. That was something I was watching for. Is Terry McLaurin traveling with the Commanders as he continues his holdout because he wants more guaranteed money, a new contract, and high AAV? He wasn't there. And building that chemistry for year 2, there will be changes to the system and personnel is massive. But for right now, Terry McLaurin is not with the Commanders, and that matters a ton. Drake Maye has the internal pressure being here in Boston and Foxborough and New England. Everyone's thirsting for the Patriots to be good again. But Jayden Daniels nationally, everyone's going to be watching for him. And it is When you're at the mountaintop, everyone wants to see you fall. When you're climbing up, no one really cares if you take a step back. They don't notice. Drake Maye and the Patriots are climbing up to get to the top of the mountain. Commanders are just about there. Jayden Daniels is going to be facing a lot of pressure, like you said, AB.
A lot of pressure. And even just if you look at the Patriots, yes, it's a lot of internal pressure, but I think Patriots fans would just be happy with them improving. Like we've all
Mhm.
been talking, and even ownership for the Patriots has been talking, like just get back on track. Like, we actually took a step back. And so they just
Yeah.
want to get back on track. And you know what? It's a plus if we get to the playoffs. Like that'd be awesome. And it's, probably definitely a potential looking at the division. And so I think for Drake May, he's in an incredibly, intense position being with the spotlight and the expectations, right? But 4 wins last season, there's a lot of room to grow.
Yeah, and that's the way I look at it too. And you point out it's the expectations too. The Commanders have to get back to the playoffs, let alone they need to make noise. For the Patriots, if they make the playoffs, like here in New England, we're like, they can do it. We see the glimpse, we see the potential. But everyone else is expecting them. They've been a 4-win team the last 2 years. If they win 7 games, everyone will be like, oh, the Patriots got better. Drake May made a year 2 leap. That's what it's going to be. So we will see. When you think of arm talent, because at the end of the day, it's a quarterback position. They're both very athletic. Jayden Daniels is slippery, such a good scrambler, makes so many guys miss. But when you think of arm talent, who do you think is better? Who would you take in that category, Drake May or Jayden Daniels, AB?
Yeah, like you can't knock either guy, right? Like they can both make crazy throws. They're both very gifted. People were, considering them as franchise quarterbacks years ago, right? And so I think for that, like they're both extremely talented, but I think it's really about the decisions that you make with your arm. And even just looking back to last year, Jayden Daniels was able to hit more deep balls because he had Terry McLaurin. He had that deep ball threat, like Drake May didn't even play as many games. I think he played like 8 fewer games than Jayden
Mhm.
Daniels did, but he doesn't have a Terry McLaurin. Now hopefully they will have that in Stephon Diggs and maybe someone else who steps up. But I think because of that, you got to look at decisions, but also opportunity in what they've been able to have in their respective NFL careers.
Yeah, and that's where I would take Drake May, but like Jayden Daniels is such a good deep ball passer. And when you talk about it's the decisions you make with the football, that's the best way to do it. You could have the best arm in the world, but if you don't make the right read and the right choice post snap or the right read pre snap, it doesn't matter because it does matter between the years. Jayden Daniels in the playoff, his poise and his composure, that is something that sets him apart too. We go watch everything he does on the field. We go watch all the film. It's his decision making, and he's really young. Played a lot of football in college, but he's still very young to be in the NFL. And the moment was never bigger than him. And that's what you want in quarterbacks. That's what sets a guy like Mahomes apart. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Matt Stafford. And we saw it with Jayden Daniels. A moment isn't bigger than them. And that's what puts him up there. We just haven't seen Drake May in those high pressure situations. I would take Drake May's arm talent over Jayden Daniels. But again, it's like when we get into these like little aspects of it all. Like I would also take Jayden Daniels' athleticism over Drake May. But I think Drake May would be a better pure pocket passer. And I do think down the road he becomes a better pro quarterback. But that doesn't mean Jayden Daniels is bad. It's the same of the Brady versus Manning argument, right? It's LeBron versus Jordan, where you have to put one down if you want to elevate the other player. I think they both can be very good. We saw it from Jayden Daniels early. I now love that the ecosystem and the structure that Drake May has around him, especially because of Josh McDaniels, will set him up for success. Because you also can't overlook even Jayden Daniels in year 2, both his tackles are good. Josh Connerly, the rookie right tackle out of Oregon. Laramie Tunsil, who they traded for at left tackle. Tyler Biadasz is a vet out of Wisconsin at center, a guy they brought in last year. While for Drake May, it's question marks. It looks like he's going to have a rookie left tackle and left guard and a vet right tackle, Morgan Moses. See if he pans out. That's what matters beyond the decisions they make, or it's more of along with the decisions they make and also their arm talent. It's also the structure around him. I have a lot more confidence in Drake May's structure now. We'll see how that benefits him moving forward, AB.
Yeah, you would hope so, right? Like that's where they spent all their money and that's what they did in the draft. But I also like what you said about those high pressure moments because when adversity hits, that's really when you tell the character of someone and their leadership and how they're able to handle pressure. And what do we see from Jayden Daniels? He's got it. Like literally, he's cool as a cucumber, is what everyone was saying last year, even in his post game interviews. I know all these reporters are like trying to crack him, like, how are you so chill? Like, literally, they were asking him, like, how are you so calm in this moment? But that's just his persona and his poise. And like you said, it comes with time. And he played a lot of college football, and he has that experience. And I think that will come with Drake Maye and his, coming into the season, knowing that you're the starter through OTAs, through minicamp, through training camp, into week one. But also, I think we've seen glimpses of him being under that pressure before, right? Like, there was this overwhelming dark cloud over the Patriots of when is Drake Maye going to play? When is Drake Maye going to play? That's not really the position you want to be in. Like, you want to either be supporting your starting quarterback and ready for the chance you need to go, or like you are the guy, right? Like, those would be best case scenarios, right? And so I think he's been able to get glimpses of what that intense pressure and expectation is in those high risk situations already.
Yeah, I mean, there has been the pressure on Drake Maye. He had to carry an offense. He had to carry a team last year. Defense was the worst. Offensive line, receiving room was the worst in the NFL. But what you point out about Jayden Daniels, even like the big stage, the press conferences, the games, and all of that, it says a lot about the character of them. All right, AB, year 2 for both of them. Who do you think actually does? And this is an interesting one because, again, Terry McLaurin's not with the team. I love that you point out, like, he could be without his wide receiver one. Who do you think has a better 2025 season, which would also be the second year of them in the NFL? Drake Maye or Jayden Daniels?
Yeah, well, ironically, I'm going to go with Drake Maye, even though we've been kind of hyping Jayden Daniels up in this entire discussion. But I think that's really dependent on where Terry McLaurin lands. I can't get over the fact you're losing your number one guy. And what's crazy about this whole conversation is that the team that we're floating around, and maybe we're biased because we're in New England, where I think everyone thinks that they too are entitled to Micah Parsons and Terry McLaurin. Clowney's name is getting thrown out there. Like, it seems like everybody thinks they have a shot. But really, here in New England is what we're hearing. Like, we might have Terry McLaurin in New England, in Foxborough, with Drake Maye and the Patriots. And so I think when you look at that, like, who will be better in year 2, I'm going to go with Drake Maye because of the potential opportunity there is, and really the unknown with Jayden Daniels and what that offense is going to look like.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Drake Maye too. I like Josh McDaniels being here. Travion Henderson was stellar in today's joint practice as well. He was really good yesterday. But being a guy that has a home run hitting ability, whether coming off toss or out of the backfield as a pass catcher, has been big. There isn't the shiny toy that Drake Maye has. Like, his wide receiving room is good, but it's deep. His offensive line is the biggest, most volatile piece of this whole team, just like last year. But if Will Campbell pans out at left tackle, if Morgan Moses is healthy at right tackle, I like Drake Maye's chances. Now, if Terry McLaurin gets a deal done, stays with the Commanders, which I expect him to do, that's going to be huge for him. But I just like Josh McDaniels better as a play caller than Cliff Kingsbury. I do like the offensive structure. Let's say Terry McLaurin can't go. Okay, then it's Deebo Samuel, Noah Brown, KJ Osborne, Jalen Lane, who's a rookie for the pass catchers for the Commanders. I don't love that. So I'm with you, AB, on this. I really like Drake Maye in year 2. I do think he has a better year 2 than Jayden Daniels does. Better 2025 season.